Hi there, it's Peter here again, the guy who hates tomatoes but loves front-end development. Today we will have a look at the Feed Music website, feedmusic.com website, and we'll have a look how some of the CSS transitions and animations were created. Today's deconstruction was suggested by Faris. Faris, thanks a lot for leaving the comment on my blog. And now let's get into the developer tool. Now let me play with the site for a bit and we'll see what I can figure out, okay? Okay, we've spent a couple minutes inside of the DevTools and the web console, and now we'll have a look what we can deconstruct from it. So as you can see, the body and the main container are full screen containers with overflow hidden, so that's why there are no scroll bars at all. And inside of it we have a cine slider container which contains a wrapper with 4 or 5 divs inside of it. So these are the 5 main sections, the ones we can scroll to using this splitting cinematographic effect when we click on next or previous section. Okay, so the cinematographic effect is created using these 2 divs at the bottom of that container, cine slider shifter. There are 2 full screen divs with a background color on them, and then they're using GreenSock to animate the transform translate from -100. So if we go to the introduction and click on technology, you will see that the cine slider shifter is set to 100%, means that it sits below the viewport, and when we click on technology, the cine slider shifter is moved to 0 and then to -100, okay, which means that it ends up above the viewport. Now if we go to the introduction, the first section on the side, you'll see there is a scrolling effect on the titles, which are animating and scaling up and fading out, and the new text is fading in and scaling up. Okay, so this is all created inside of the home introduction container and the StarWars container. StarWars container with StarWars wrapper, and all the paragraphs inside of it are absolutely positioned, and the offset is set to increase by 100% for all the following items. So the first item is in the middle of the viewport, and everything else has set opacity to decrease by 0.25, and as you can see, some opacity here is set to -1.5, 2.5 and so on. So even the opacity is decreasing, but at the same time also the translate offset is set to higher value. Okay, that's what makes the items being offset or being outside of the view, and then when we scroll, they are increasing the opacity and coming into the middle of the viewport. Okay, so a lot of items are here animating, which I don't think it's the best for performance, but that's how it was created. They call this plugin StarWars Scroll. Okay, so StarWars Scroll, which is individual plugin loaded on the side. Not sure if you can download it from somewhere else or if it's a custom one. Here you can see the initial tween, which sets the Y, scale and alpha to all the items, and below is the tween that animates everything in and out. The timeline is then hooked to the scroll event, to the mouse wheel or touch move event, and all we're doing here looks like that GreenSock is animating on update the progress of this timeline. Okay, so we're scrolling down or we're swiping down, and the timeline progress is set to a new value, and that's what animates all the elements into place, and that's also what makes this progress grow as well. Okay, so we scroll down, and on update we're updating the progress bar there as well. Okay, so that's how this effect was created. In the text spotlight section, you'll see animating of a sprite or images rendered on canvas, and they are using a frame by frame. So this plugin animates or switches background or renders the images on the canvas one by one, frame by frame, and here are all the assets rendered for that section. You can see there are frame low and frame high. So the frame low are used while we're scrolling, which is quite blurry. When we stop, the image gets a little bit sharper. Okay, so that's the image rendered after we stop scrolling, which is the exact frame but with a high resolution. So low resolution images are rendered on canvas while we're scrolling, and high resolution images are rendered while we stop scrolling. There you have it, CSS transitions and GreenSock tweens and timelines deconstructed. Hopefully it makes more sense, Faris, how this site was put together. Thanks again for leaving the comment on my blog and suggesting this site for deconstruction. You rock. And if you have a tip for website deconstruction, leave it under the video or hit me up on Twitter at Ihatetomatoes. As always, if you've enjoyed this deconstruction, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this from the guy who hates tomatoes but loves front-end development. Until next time, happy coding!